real world percents. We're going to start with an example about bakeries, my favorite. All right, you just hired a new employee to work in your bake shop. In 1 hour, the employee burned 250 chocolate chip cookies. If this represented 21% of the day's production, how many cookies had you planned on producing that day? So we're talking about a part, the part that they burned, versus a whole, all the cookies that were made. And we're given the percent. So saying that if there were 100 cookies in our batch, 21 would have been burned. We want to know how many there were actually in our batch. So we're going to set up our percent proportion. Part over whole. So the actual number burned over all the cookies is equal to the percent that they gave us, 21 out of 100. Sorry, I should write this. It's equal to our percent over 100. Now we can replace stuff in here with what we know from the problem. So they told us that 21% of the cookies were burned, so I'll put a 21 here. They told us that 250 were burned. 250 cookies were burned, and they wanted to know how many were in our batch altogether. All right. So I have this proportion here, and I would just solve it using cross products. So I would take 250 times 100, and I would say that that is equal to 21 times x. I'd simplify that equation and I'd solve it, which I know you know how to do. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's look at our second example. The dinner bill for Mr. and Mrs. Jones was $54.90. They left a 20% tip. What was their total bill, including the tip? Okay. So again, I'm looking at a percent, and I'm asked to find the actual part. So I'm going to set up my percent proportion. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Now the whole here is the bill before the tip, and the part is what we're looking for. The part is how much the tip was in dollars. They give us the percent that the tip is. It's 20% of the bill. So this is the proportion that we're going to solve. Now when I do cross products on this proportion and I find out what x is, I'm going to do this with my calculator just to make it faster. You don't have to watch me do division. It's 1098. So x is equal to 1098. That's how much they paid in tip. That's not the answer to the question though, because the question said, what was their total bill including the tip? Their total bill. So I want to take that tip and add it on to the cost of dinner before the tip. So I have 1098 and I'm going to add a 54.90. It's going to be $65.88 was their total bill including the tip. All right, next example. The number of registered voters in the town of Cedarville is 8,916. In the last election, Mayor Burgess won re-election with 72% of the vote. If 52% of registered voters voted in the election, how many people voted? Okay, we've got another percent proportion problem. So I'm going to set up my proportion. Part over whole equals the percent over 100. They're telling me that 52% of the voters voted. So I'm going to plug that in. 52%. They're also telling me that the number of registered voters is 8,916. So that's the whole population of the city. That's how many people could have voted. And they want to know how many actually did vote. So we're solving for P here. We'd use cross products. We would find out what P is. That's how we get our answer to A. B, based on your answer to part A, how many voters voted for Mayor Burgess? So it looks like we're going to actually have to calculate this so we can use it in part B. So I would take 52 times 8,916 divided by 100. So the number of people that voted is 4,636. All right. based on your answer to part A, how many voters voted for Mayor Burgess? So I know that this many people voted, and then it tells me Mayor Burgess won the re-election with 72% of the vote. So 72% of these people voted for the mayor. So again, I'm setting up my proportion. Part over whole is equal to percent over 100. I'm going to plug in what I know. I know that 72% of those who voted, so 72 out of 100 voted for the mayor. I want to know what is equal to that out of the 4,636 people that voted. I would solve this using cross products, and I would find P. I'll do it on my calculator. So that's 3,337.38 voted for the mayor. Okay, based on your answers to parts A and B, how many voters did not vote for Mayor Burgess? All right, so I know that this many people voted. This many people voted for the mayor, so the difference between those two numbers is going to be how many did not vote for the mayor. So I would just subtract. So 1,298 people did not vote for Mayor Burgess. All right. Ethan earned 7% commission on the cars he sells as a car salesman. Last year he sold $260,000 worth of cars. How much did he earn in commission? Again, we know the whole amount when we're asked to find the part amount, the part that he earned in commission. And we're given the part in whole with a different size whole. It's whole size of 100. So I'm going to set up my percent proportion. Okay, so I'm going to plug in what I know. He gets 7%, so $7 out of every $100 he gets his commission. The whole last year was $260,000. The part is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to solve this using cross products to get my answer. All right, now we're going to talk about percent increase and decrease. So, first example, the original price of a new pair of Jordans was $150. After being signed by a professional basketball player, the Jordans cost $210. By what percent did the cost of Jordans increase? So now the question is asking, by what percent did the cost of the Jordans increase? So now what we're doing, instead of, we are still comparing a part to a whole, but the part is now the change in price, or the change in two numbers over the original number. So we want to know how the change compares to the original size. All right. So I could fill this out by saying change in price over original price equals percent over 100. We're still using this proportion here. So in this problem, I have Jordans increasing in price from $150 to $210. So that means the change in price is $60. I just got that by subtracting 210 minus 150. So $60 is my change. So that's going to go on the top of this ratio, $60. My original cost, the original price of the new pair was $150. Original goes on the bottom here. So we're comparing how much that price changed to how much they cost originally. And we want to say, well, if they cost 100 originally, how much would they have changed? We're finding the percent that they've changed. I would solve that using cross products just like I've solved every other proportion. Let's look at this next example. Your dad bought a new couch for $560. The wholesale price of the couch is $350. By what percentage did the store managers change the price? Okay, so again, we're going to look at change over original. That's going to be equal to our percent out of 100. So the original price of this couch was $350. That's how much the wholesale price was. That's how much the store bought it for. So I'm going to put 350 as my original price. Then it's asking, I need to know the change in price. So it went from 350 to 560. I can find the change in price by subtracting. So $210 was the change in that price. And now I have a proportion that I need to solve. I can replace this percent with an S because that's what I'm looking for. And I solve this using cross products like we already know how to do.